Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Paige, this is Seeking Alexandria, and my hair has got some issues. We're gonna work these out later. Sweet baby Jesus. Now today, you guys, is part 2 of the Dose of Colors Double Trouble series, where we are looking at, doing 2 videos side by side, looking at 2 of their new products. I love this idea that I came up with. Again, leave down in the comments if you like it. I felt like an idiot last night when I was editing the film for the Sassy Siennas palette, and I realized I did not swatch that for you. So here's the Sassy Siennas palette, and here's today's Blushing Berries palette. You guys, they're definitely very, very similar and very different. What I love about the Dose of Colors, first of all, their shadows are super blendable, they're super pigmented, and they're very creamy. We talked about this a lot in the first one, the Sassy Siennas palette review, where basically there is a ton of kick in pan, but these colors are ridiculous as far as pigmentation goes. Like, they're just so beautiful, and I think that what I love about them is that if you're drawn, and I said this in the first video a little bit, but if you are really drawn to like a certain color scheme and you're like a beginner, these are just great ways for you to like really get acquainted with colors and what pairs well with other colors. Now, because on the Sassy Sienna side I went with a much more like dramatic and intense look, I thought today for the Blushing Berries one it would be kind of cool if I toned it down a little bit and I did more of like a wearable look. I feel like every time I've experimented with one of these Dose of Colors palettes, it's always been very intense, very like, whoa, holy cow, she used every color. And okay, what is going on? I felt like I don't even have lipstick. Oh, I have chapstick. That's what it is. I'm like, I can feel something traveling on my mouth, but there's nothing there. Just kidding. There's chapstick. Every time I've used these palettes, anyways, I have always done like a more intense look, and I thought it would be kind of cool to go like a little different route, maybe make it a little bit more daytime as opposed to like a super dramatic look. I don't know. Normally I say that and it like ends up intense anyways, so like who's to say? And the other thing I wanted to note too, that in this palette you get a really like a normal size, a really nice black shadow, and you guys, that black shadow has a ton of pigment. I mean, like, look at him. He's not playing. He's gorgeous. That's a horrible swatch because the wrinkles on my hand make it look not good, but it looks really good so far. I'm excited to play that. I might use that and like kind of stamp it along my lower lash line. I haven't decided yet, but I definitely want to check it out and see like if it's a good black for that or not. But I just kind of thought we would play around and maybe do a little loose dust of the rest into the crease. Just try to make it a little bit more laid back and show you guys a different side of Sears, if you will. So let's go ahead. I've already primed and prepped my eyes. Yes, I'm sure you can tell. Wow, I look so weird when I have no eyes on. Like, this just looks crazy to me. Crazy. Alright, so to start out, we're going to build this guy into the crease right here, just the lightest shade. And the other thing, too, I know one of the biggest differences between this video and the last video, I'm still going to do my best to, like, use, that is not the right, what the hell am I thinking? That's right, I want my Sigma E40. Anyways, I know that in the last one, I really, like, built up the crease and I did, like, a more intense. This is going to be more, like I said, a little bit more wearable, so I'm not going to build the crease up as much. I'm going to leave things a little bit more demure. At least that's the goal. Alright, time to travel in with this guy. Again, same brush, same outer corner, just gonna keep her real here. You guys, don't be afraid too, because these Dose of Color shadows are so like ultra pigmented. Do not be afraid to be like, hey, I don't want any additional, and just take what you already have in your crease and work it around. Because one of the things when you're working with a shadow that has this much pigment is you do not want to continue to add pigment if you're not looking for drama. Like, I have decreased significantly the amount of times I have went into this pan just because I know that I don't want to have a huge excess buildup of shadow. So just something to, kind of consider. That's how I look at it anyways. I'm always like, look, if I don't want more, I'm just going to spread what I got. That sounds dirty. Dirty. Alright, we're just going to move in with this purple guy right here. Now this one I actually debated doing like an all over lid. Actually, that could look really pretty. If I do that as an all over lid, that's gonna look really dramatic. Like literally the opposite of what I said I was gonna do today. I do think it would look really pretty. I think it'd look extra pretty though to do like a little white in the corner and then like fade into that color. That went from wearable to not wearable very quickly. Alright, I'm gonna do a compromise. I'm just gonna keep the same brush and I'm gonna go in because I said this I was gonna keep this look light. And I'm gonna work that shade just very lightly right here. Alright, so again, we're leaving it a little lighter. I know it doesn't look that light, but it really is light, especially for me. Now we're going to just continue. We're going to work this darker purple, and we're going to take a different brush. I don't know what brush this is, but you basically want one that has a little bit flatter end on it, so you can really concentrate and more stamp the product, as opposed to, you know, flicking it all over the place. I don't even know what word that was supposed to be. Alright, and now that it looks extra dark, we're just going to take that Sigma and we're going to go back into this light shade right here, tap a little bit on, tap it off, and we're just going to really work on blending this whole outer area. Now again, because Dose of Colors is so insanely pigmented, you have to be really mindful, because you guys have seen I always go in with like a lighter color, tap off, and that's how I work into, you know, the crease in my brow bone, and that's how I blend everything. And normally for like a normal palette that would be fine. Now with Dose of Colors, because this color, even though it looks really light in pan, it builds very quickly and it has a lot of pigment with it. So you just want to be very mindful what you're using, where you're putting it, always with Dose of Colors. These palettes they're very interesting in their own right, because it's amazing to me that they exhibit some of the characters in palettes that like so many people can't stand. And yet they are so insanely popular because the amount of pigment and the quality of these shadows, it like outweighs all the stuff that people can't stand. Like some people don't love a super pigmented shadow. They think that it's super annoying. That's totally fine, I guess. Some people don't love kick up and pan, and these arguably have a ton of kick and pan. Like, they just have certain things about them. There's not a ton of colors. There's not a lot of versatility. And yet people still flock to pay $32 for these little palettes, and it's just because the quality and the blendability of these shadows is, I mean, it's insane. Like, I literally just flew my brush. Like, flung it, got rid of it. That was cute. But seriously, I don't know. Like, it is just amazing to me how quickly an easy smoked out look comes together with their shadows. Like, I'm just amazed. Now we're going to go in. This is the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Volume 2. I actually got this in a BoxyCharm, and I'm just going to go in with the shade Pearl, which is this white guy right here. And we're just going to tap that really lightly. This would work. Again, doesn't have to be this shade. It could be white. It could be a matte white. It could be any shimmer from any other palette. This is literally just the first one I grabbed. And we're just going to kind of pop her right on in here. Again, this is more of a chill daytime kind of look. It doesn't need to be perfect. And that's part of the reason I wanted to do this. I felt like, I know all of my eye looks and everything, like they always end up looking really similar, but I really wanted to do an eye look for you guys that wasn't like super dramatic. It was a lot easier, and I feel like this was like a perfect opportunity to do that, because with Dose of Colors it can be very easy or very complex looking very quickly, and it's all up to you and like your personal aesthetic. So I thought that on these palettes that would just be a really good time to kind of showcase that quality. Okay, so now that we are this far, I'm going to go in with this black. I told you guys I wanted to see how it stamped along the lower lash line. Because normally you guys know, like I do a tight rim felt tip liner right there, but I wanted to try this out to see if it's any good, because some people, you know, if you buy this, you don't want to have to buy a liner too, and this is actually kind of cool. I love that they put a black in this palette. And it doesn't have to be super precise, because again, we're going for more of like a daytime, a little bit more of a lax look. You guys, I actually really love that, and I love how soft it is, as opposed to, like, you guys know, when you go in with a felt tip liner or anything like that, it is so like intense and structured, and I love that that's more of like a, I don't know, like a smoked out kind of lash line. And I also really like too that if you're someone that's maybe you're a little shaky or you're not good with a felt tip liner, like I have a ton of medical issues. I shake on a daily basis. I'm like, look like a crack addict half the time. And so for me, a lot of times wing liner is really, not winged liner, but liner in general, it's really difficult. And I love that this just, I mean, it's stamped on really nicely. It is a little bit less opaque than I would like. Like I did go in and I kind of tapped it over in a couple areas to make it a little bit more black. But I mean, as far as a black in a palette goes, it went on really nicely. You don't need a lot, and I think it's super pretty. For the lower lash line, I'm just gonna grab, okay. It comes with a little brush, Paige. How do you lose their little brush? All right, their palette comes with like this little pencil brush, and I'm gonna take the pencil end because it has like this weird flat thing on the other side. But I wanna take the pencil end, and I'm going to run this guy mixed with the middle guy onto the lower lash line real quick. And then just on the outer V, I am going to go in with a little bit of that black and stamp it as close as I can get to the lash line. Alright, I am going to go ahead, throw on some mascara, and finish up, give you my final thoughts, put all my thoughts in a bowl, pull them out, we're going to talk. You guys, is it bad that I'm so lazy? Like, I don't want to get up, go fix my hair, and come back, so you guys are just going to deal with, I don't even know what all of this is. Okay, so my final thoughts on all of these palettes. First of all, I think that Dose of Colors, I've said this 1,000 times, I think that their quality of their shadows is amazing. Now, I love the arrangement of their shadows and of these palettes in particular for the purpose of ease and new beginners and things like that. New beginners? Double negative much, but I love the concept of these palettes, how they work, how all the shades work within the palette. You can wear them separate, alone. My lipstick's already traveling. It's been 3 seconds. But I love that aspect. Now, with that being said, the one thing I do caution a new person on if you're like trying to get into these kind of palettes is the amount of kick and the amount of like, you really just have to be mindful. It is a great training tool. These are a great way to teach you how to be mindful and how to manipulate shadows correctly, how to use them, how to, you know, put them on your eye in such a way that they go on correctly without going all over. And I don't know, is this something that you guys enjoyed? Like I did the 2 parts. I wanted this one to be a little bit more wearable, and oddly, like I know that it doesn't look it. For me, this is a lot more wearable look. Normally I would have smoked it out. There'd have been color everywhere. We would have been crazy. So I think for me, it's definitely a little bit more wearable, but I wanted to show you guys that you can wear it a little bit softer. It doesn't always have to be like drama and dark and intense and glitter shadows. I mean, or in glitter, steal of glitters. Like it can be a lot more just down to earth, easy. You can recreate. Obviously, these colors in these palettes are not super ingenuitive. Is that the right word? Yeah. You guys, I slept for like 2 hours last night. So the colors aren't like super unique. You can find them in other palettes for sure. These are great travel palettes, and overall, you guys, I do recommend these Dose of Colors. I wasn't sure at first if I was gonna like this guy just because I felt like the colors looked a little bit too dusty. They kind of went a little bit funny on the eye, but I think at the end of the day, as long as they blend together nicely, that's all I care about, and they blended like a dream. I think that the quality and the type and the pigmentation and everything is on par with the Marvelous Mauves palette that I have. The only thing that I will say is if you're like a collector of makeup, again, like me, I'm more of a collector. I don't know if these will be your personal aesthetic because yet again, you'll have these colors already. If you are someone that is new to makeup and you're kind of, wow, that looks trashy. I left the plastic on. Like for the whole video, the plastic was on that. Now look at how pretty it is. Where was I going with that? Oh, if you're new to makeup and you're the type of person that like you're just trying to get into it and you're wanting to pick one of these up, again, they're not cheap. They are $32. So if you were looking at one, I would just really say or ask yourself, like, what is it that you're looking for? What color scheme? And if these are not the specific color schemes you're into, you might be better off spending your money elsewhere because you'll get a lot more bang for your buck. Okay, I think that that's like all the pros, all the cons, and everything in between that I can give you. And I'm so sorry in the first video that I didn't swatch these. I don't know how I forgot that, but you guys, oh, so beautiful. Okay, I hope that you enjoyed this. There will be another series coming tomorrow, and we will continue this. I'll let you know, though, when it's over. That way, if you're hating it, you don't have to watch it. That's the way this works. So, you guys, don't forget, check the description box for all my social media handles, and I hope that you found this helpful. I hope that you were as curious about these palettes as I was, because I was curious. I really enjoyed them, actually, like a lot more than I thought I would. Oh, on my lips, I am wearing the Marc Jacobs Infamous in one of the little minis that I got. And then I just put on a little lip gloss. There it is. A little lip gloss from MAC in the shade Please Me over top. It's just like a little ombre effect. Super cute. Okay, I think that's it, you guys. Have a great day, night, weekend, whatever it is when you're watching this. And I will see you on the next one. Bye. We blushed the berries. We came, we saw, we conquered. Part 2, done. It's done.